Hi, it's Steve O here, and today is the 1st of August, Monday, the 1st of August, 2022. I'm taking a look at cryptocurrencies and asking the question, is this a dead cat bounce? Now, I won't go into the details of exactly what that is, but I'm sure a lot of you have heard of a dead cat bounce. We're going to take a look at the technicals behind the cryptos at the moment. We're going to look at a couple, or three, in fact. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. And also, we're going to dive into the new sentiment analysis, which is provided by our parent company, Acuity, which adds another flavor to the analysis. So let's get started. Let's bring up the charts and let's try and minimize me and look at the different timeframes. We're going to start with a weekly chart on Bitcoin, and we're going to highlight the main formations, main levels, really, that we need to be watching on a weekly basis, and then drill down to the other timeframes. So we have had a bounce off the support. Now, this support comes in from a previous swing high. The swing high goes back all the way to 2017. That's when Bitcoin first made an extended move higher. Came all the way back to 3,300 before this slow, gradual uptick, which then eventually broke the resistance that we previously saw in 2017 in 2020. So 3 years it took to recapture ground above there. And obviously we all know the story from there, an accelerated move higher, and we've had this topping formation, which was picked up. The high in Bitcoin we know is around $69,000, and we've had this formation, which could be maybe a double top formation or even a head and shoulders formation, which I've highlighted here. Now, normally this provides us with a measured move. Both the double top and the head and shoulders formation provide us with a measured move target well below zero. So I'm not going to scare everyone with that. We're going to just take it as the measured move target is a lot lower than we are now. So what do we do? Well, in the first instance, we built up a base after hitting this high in April 2021. We got up to around about 65,000, came down, and we found a low, and this came in around about the 28,800 level. This proved to be quite a significant level on a number of occasions, formed really decent support. The further projection higher formed the head of this formation. That was the 69,000 level before, again, we had a propulsion lower, and we formed the neckline. This is an upward sloping neckline of this head and shoulders formation. The right shoulder peaked out at 48,000. The sell-off since then has found its way back down to below the original previous all-time high, which was 20,000. We've been down to 17,800. That's a brief summary on the weekly chart. Since then, we've had a mild correction. So we have found some support around here. Now, the next resistance levels on this weekly chart will be the previous support level of around about 28,800, all the way up to around about 33,000. So there's a nice big range of resistance that we can really focus on. So after seeing that, the normal way this formation works, a break through the neckline would be seen. Then we could see a retest of that neckline before a continued sell-off. And I think that's where the market is at the moment. We're having, on the daily chart, we can quite clearly see, let me just make it a little bit clearer, this corrective phase. So this is the potential dead cat bounce. This is the bounce we're seeing, which is just a bounce which happens technically. And we've seen over the last 3 days that price action on this rally has stalled. We've stalled around 24,300. The next level of resistance comes in at 25,340. We're above the 21-day moving average, which is a positive thing. We're moving higher in this corrective formation, again, slightly positive. But overall, the slightly more medium-term sentiment is for further losses. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, see if that gives us any further indication. Now, we've taken Fibonacci retracement level from this previous bearish flag formation that we formed, which we broke down from. Again, we're forming another bearish flag if we take the pole from this high of 32,300 and the Fibonacci lines are drawn from there. The resistance lines come in at 25,000, that's the 50% fib, and above that, the more normal 61.8% fib comes in at 26,728. Between there, you've got a little bit of resistance from this previous swing low. So that's covering off Bitcoin. Well, let's take a look at Ethereum now. And on a weekly basis, this is also an interesting chart. We've seen the similar sort of move to Bitcoin. We had the initial projection higher, then the head, then the right shoulder, then the sell-off. Ethereum actually managed to hold on to support for longer than Bitcoin did. And that level of support came in around about the 1730 level. So that's a level to really focus on, as recently we've retested that level and we've stalled. You can see this 4 weeks, a whole month of positive price action. And we saw last week prices move up to 1785, in fact, before paring back those gains. We're trading now at 1684. And so we are retesting this previous support, which should now act as resistance. So very interesting indeed. We can see that the daily chart, again, around this level, this 1730 level, which is highlighted, we're above the 21-day moving average. The short-term trend is moving higher. So that's a positive, but the last 3 days have been stalling in terms of price action. On the 4-hour chart, this bearish flag formation that we formed on Bitcoin, it's actually prices have extended above the top of that channel, above the corrective channel. So again, looks slightly more positive on Ethereum. And finally, we'll take a quick look at Ripple. Ripple extended lower, hasn't had the same correction as the other coins, but it's still showing signs of a rounding formation, a little bit of a bottom forming. And the levels to watch really here, we've got this downward trending resistance line, which has 1, 2, almost call that a third touch point. That should provide decent resistance up at the 55.70 area. Currently trading at 37.80. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff in the news about Ripple, about XRP, and that this is obviously definitely one to watch for the future. The real support we've got coming in around about the 10 to 12 level, and the most recent low, we got down to about 29 cents in that. So let's take a look now at the new sentiment analysis, because this is painting a slightly different picture. So initially we'll look at Bitcoin, and we can see that new sentiment, the line in blue here, this is the new sentiment chart. It has been picking up over the last month, and actually it's only showing a negative 0.015 level on that new sentiment analysis. So almost into positive territory. We can see over the last 24 hours, new sentiment has moved higher. Fear index and news volume, signs of volatility still sitting in the background. Now, if we take a look at the most recent new sentiment signal, it shows that daily new sentiment is moving higher, and in 70% of the last 10 occurrences, price has risen within 5 days. Now, that came out today, so that's signaling potentially a further upside for Bitcoin. It wouldn't be a huge surprise, because I still feel that from a technical perspective, we have to test that 28,800 level. So definitely something to watch there. So what about Ethereum? Ethereum really showing a similar type of recovery. Sentiment has turned higher in the last few days, and we've also had a 50% chance of prices moving higher within the next 5 days. Now, overall in Ethereum, you can see the strongest signals have been negative signals. So maybe this is around this 1730 level, where we're not far away from. It's really maybe sitting and waiting for that negative signal from the market alerts before we get too excited. But sentiment has been more positive and is in positive territory. It actually sits at 0.11, a positive 0.11 on Ethereum, so compared with Bitcoin's negative reading. Finally, we look at XRP, and this is this is showing a score very similar to Bitcoin, 0.15. That's a negative number, and over well, yesterday and Saturday, in fact, Saturday or Sunday, that's Sunday, we posted again a 50% chance of prices moving higher within the next 4 days. New sentiment moving higher. Prices haven't really had much of a move today in that respect, but over the last month, we've seen a bit of two-way action in Ripple, highlighting a great deal of indecision. So I hope you found that helpful with the technical analysis and the new sentiment analysis. Thanks for joining me today, and look forward to catching up again next week.